The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
All right, Canucks Nation, for the most part, is loving the Elias Lindholm trade, but guess what? Flames fans think they fleeced the Canucks? Get out of here, Flames fans. Okay, this is the show, the home of the West Coast bias, Locked On Canucks, baby.
You goddamn Albertans.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, Flames fans might not like this episode, but that don't matter because this is Locked On Canucks, baby. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host of Locked On Canucks, also a Canucks writer for Daily Hive Vancouver, not Daily Hive Calgary, Daily Hive Vancouver. Before we dive into the show, we got to thank you for tuning into Locked On Canucks because it is your team every day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. If you haven't done so already, make sure you go subscribe or follow us for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, got to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets if your best bet of $5 or more wins. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon today to get started. On today's episode, Elias Lindholm talk. Okay, we did the breaking news episode last night, but today there's a couple things I wanted to touch on. First and foremost, get into the Calgary Flames point of view, because there's a lot of Flames fans who think that they fleeced the Canucks in this trade. Not even that it was a fair deal or admitting defeat that the Canucks won the trade, but they think that they fleeced the Canucks in that trade. So we're going to break down that take and tell you what we think of the trade on the other side. Break it down piece by piece. Because, yeah, Kyle mentioned it in the description here, but the Canucks gave up 5 assets for Elias Lindholm. So, on the surface, it could look like a lot, but again, we'll tell you how we feel in a couple of minutes. In the second segment, get into Elias Lindholm's struggles this season. Why did he struggle with the Calgary Flames so far in 2023-2024? Are there warning signs there, or should we be more optimistic about Elias Lindholm and how he'll perform in Vancouver? And finally, we'll take some of your comments as we do throughout the show, because we are live on YouTube when we record. Again, if you're joining us after the fact, that's okay too. We just appreciate you tuning into Locked On Canucks. I will dig into your comments and tell you some fun facts about Elias Lindholm. I dug into those at 4 a.m. this morning. But before we do any of that, I got to introduce someone who is almost as good looking as Elias Lindholm, and that is Kyle Bowen. How's it going, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited to chirp some Calgary Flames fans. I've seen some comments on some of the videos I watched post Lindholm trade, right? To just gauge the field. How's the NHL world feeling about this? Because I'm feeling as if everyone else got to be scared. Speaking of being scared, I think I would be scared if I was the Calgary Flames, because what they got to me is risky business. And some people were commenting that, this Lindholm trade allowed Craig Conroy to set the tone for the trade deadline. A part of me is like, dude, if I was a Flames fan, maybe I would have waited a bit longer just to get more of a guarantee on that NHL player going to you. Because Kuzmenko, man, oh man, I don't know about him right now. Straight up. Well, who are you getting? A guy that may be going back to Russia in 2025. Straight up. Anyways, Kyle Bowen, Trevor Beggs, that's me being a bully. That's me being a bully to Kuzmenko, man. Right before he gets traded, I said the word sucked. It's crazy, man. Ridiculous. I was about to say sorry for that, but then he left. Anywho, we got so much to talk about. As you can tell, I'm excited. The fans, man. The fans excited. How about this, man? Redbeard's World. As a Canucks fan living in Alberta, thanks for the comments. I love this. Oh, come on, man. How about this, Mr. Whale? The perfect match to play with Elias Pettersson. That's Lindholm. Was the price high for Lindholm? Maybe a lot of assets. But hey, we might have got the perfect guy to move into that top 6 for real.
Yeah, and I think last night, again, check out our reaction video last night if you missed it already, or the podcast version, of course. I think we talked a lot about why we do like the trade for the Vancouver Canucks. Now, apparently, Flames fans also like this deal. But let's get into it, right? The 5 assets, a late first-round pick, which I want to say first and foremost gives you based on the odds, about a 50% chance of having a regular NHLer, right? So you're talking about a coin flip there. I know first-round picks are valuable, but we're really talking about a coin flip based on the data of that player, becoming an impact NHL or a regular NHLer, I should say. Less than 50% odds of becoming an impact NHLer. So that's, again, valuable asset, but again, late first round pick. Not going to worry too much about that. Andre Kuzmenko, kind of like you mentioned, I'm probably more bullish on Kuzmenko than a lot of people seem to be, especially in this market. I think, again, he didn't fit in Tocchet's system, but he's got an incredible skill set. What concerns me about Kuzmenko, though, is his lack of foot speed. Again, he's not great on the back check, so you really want to put him in an offense first role. And his power play productivity cratered this year. And I don't know exactly what happened in Vancouver, but I think he just lost his confidence. So I think he could be a better player in the NHL for sure.
Confidence, man. It's the confidence. And, you know, you are giving him the benefit of the doubt. He does have the skill, bro. Yo, up until, 3 or 4 weeks ago, I'm a huge Kuzmenko believer. I'm writing a letter to Rick Tocchet demanding that he stop scratching this guy. Let him find his confidence during the game. It is what it is. But I feel as if it was pretty loud and clear, especially in the last, 5 or 6 games. I know we probably sprinkled in a 2-point performance or a 2-goal performance in there. I forgot what game that was. But anyways, it was pretty clear that he wasn't going to buy in to the effort level needed at both ends of the rink for every player. Every player. Now look across the board. Look at that forward group. Every single player on the Vancouver Canucks in their forward lines is above a 75 overall when it comes to back checking, at least at the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Kuzmenko wasn't. And this team's trying to get for the cup. And now if you're a Flames fan, and you're talking about what's the importance of back checking if you're going to score 40 goals, 39 goals, bro? I learned it quick, man. Maybe I forgot about it because it's been a long time since we've seen successful hockey. Yo, you need a team that's completely bought in at both ends of the rink in this new NHL.
Yeah, 100%, right? And again, a lot we like what the Lindholm trade mentioned already, but great face-off man. He's a right shot center, which the Canucks don't have. Can play power play, can play penalty kill. Really meshes well with players who can distribute the puck. And we'll get into that in segment 2. That was one of the fatal flaws in terms of his failures with the Flames this season. But yeah, going back to the trade quickly, again, my take is that the Canucks absolutely did not get fleeced by the Flames, and really only time will tell. Brushevitz, I guess, there's a chance that he could turn into, I don't know, the next Quinn Hughes would be a little bullish, but there's a chance he could be an impact NHLer. There's a chance that the first round pick could be an impact NHLer. There's a chance that Kuzmenko could rebound as well. But when I look at this trade, I see more quantity than quality, straight up. And again, with the first round, it's a coin flip. Brushevitz, let's touch on him quickly. A lot of scouting experts are saying, if you're going to sell high on Brushevitz, this was the year to do so, okay?
Yeah.
I think he's kind of widely seen to be, top 4 quality defenseman, probably number 3, 4 second pair defenseman, and a power play specialist.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a guy who's great on the back check. And again, the Canucks have their guy. They need guys who can defend. A guy like Brushevitz doesn't necessarily fit what the team is right now. Of course, that could change.
I'll say this, man. I think, again, the West Coast bias in me, right? We're recording this at the Don't Dose Art Lab. This is Locked On Canucks. I only care about the Vancouver Canucks. So, of course, I'm going to, belittle everything else going outside this team, okay? Because it don't really matter, right? Look at, how do you say this guy's name? Brussels sprouts? Okay, this guy gets left off of the USA team, World Juniors. And what does the USA team do? They win gold. Did they miss him? No. Anyways, let's talk about the good. I think a lot of people are talking about this guy being really skilled, and I see a lot of Canucks fans being like, oh, we have Quinn Hughes. We didn't need a guy like this. Yo, when I look at depth charts and what I like in teams and also who's won Stanley Cups, I know Sam Girard was hurt for the Colorado Avalanche during that, but you know what I'm saying? It's not bad having a Sam Girard on your team as well, below Cale Makar. You know what I'm saying? So this guy may be a good player. It is what it is, but this is the cost of doing business, and not just business in the NHL, because there's 32 teams. We're talking about 4 or 5 teams really going after the Stanley Cup per year, and the Vancouver Canucks, in my heart, have been doing it since, the end of October. It felt like that, right? Their best players are being their best players, but this was a clear move in that direction, that this season is about playing in June. Just the truth.
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? The Canucks added a huge piece, one of the biggest pieces at the deadline, and they are already the first place team in the NHL, So again, you got to pay a price, of course. But I'm fine with the package the Canucks gave up. I thought it was a fair trade. Again, only time will tell. But the takes that the Flames fleeced the Canucks, to me, this seems like petty Flames fans who just want to feel good about something, right? I'm seeing these comments. My coworkers at Offside Daily Hive posted this. People are saying, Conroy, you beautiful man, you fleeced him. Conroy fleece. Rare Flames win. Let Conroy cook. And lots of takes like that. And it's like, these things make me laugh out loud, man. I mean, honestly, like, look, again, Kuzmenko could bounce back, but I'm much more certain on Lindholm bouncing back with the Canucks rather than this package of stuff working out for the Flames. Again, when you trade away futures for a guy who could be a rental, there's always risk, but
Yeah,
you know, I love the risk that the Canucks took. This is a year to go all in and
it
push for the
is.
Stanley Cup. Why not the Vancouver Canucks? And for the Calgary Flames, I mean, good for you. You got quantity over quality. I hope it doesn't work out for you because F the Flames.
Whoa, F the Flames. I was going to say both teams can win, you know? Both teams can win.
Nah.
But I like where you're going with that, okay, Trevor? Because this is only the West Coast buys being produced over here on this conversation. Look at Aaron, man, saying the truth as well. The Canucks have now made 7 or 8 trades this season alone, if my notes are correct. Aaron, man, if you're trying to get a job on Locked On Canucks, I'm pretty sure you know one of our numbers, okay? It's just the truth. Okay?
Yep.
How about this one? Okay?
Aaron's dead right. The Canucks made 7 trades this season so far.
You know what we should do, Trevor? And this may be a little dark for the program. You know, you're the one that should be saying this again. Trevor Beggs, the darkest guy on the program. Look at us. But Mr. Whale is asking if anyone could do an analysis on how we deal with all the UFAs coming up. You know, I don't mind doing that this week, straight up, because it's cool to kind of look at not only the players who are on the last year of their deals, but how they're individually performing. It's a beautiful thing seeing these guys maximize their potential, and it does tie into what this week now brings. We're talking about the All-Star break. We're talking about the most All-Stars at the game. You add another one in Lindholm. It's a big deal to be the Vancouver Canucks right now, and everything is pointing in the right direction for this team to only move like this, and that's because of the dark side of things. And that's this may be the best version of the Canucks for the next 3 years.
There we go, buddy. Let's go.
Crazy.
In terms of the UFA idea, we did do an episode earlier in January about which UFA the Canucks should extend, but I agree, God doesn't hurt to take a look back and see again, because they're not going to be able to afford all these guys, but how could they, I guess, maximize, these returning UFAs? But to me, it comes down to guys got to take discounts, especially kind of in that middle class. And we always talk about the middle class being squeezed. That feels like a real life thing, but Alvey mentioned in his presser that guys are going to have to take less if they want to come play for a winner. That includes guys at the top, of course, that would make a difference, but I think it also includes the guys in the middle of the roster. Touch on the 3 big parts of the trade, but very quickly, Jani Jurmo, I said it last night. I don't think this guy touches the NHL ice. This guy over in Finland this season, he's almost 22 years old. He had 1 assist in 28 games for his Finnish team. Got traded to a new team where he's got now a goal and assist in 6 games. Look, Jani Jurmo's got, again, a nice skill set. He's big, he's quick, he can hit, but he just hasn't put it all together at almost 22 years old over in Finland. I don't see that happening. And then finally, there was a conditional 4th that becomes a 3rd if the Canucks make the Western Conference Finals. Look, if we make the Western Conference Finals, I think Canucks fans would be okay with giving up a 3rd round pick.
Dude, I'm getting naked. I'm getting naked, man.
Okay.
During the day.
Onlyfans.kylebaldwin.com.
I've been sleeping naked every day for the past 4 months, 5 months. It's stiff. I don't even. Okay, what? All right. Locked On Canucks. Kyle Ballin, Trevor Beggs. Who do we have to shout out, man?
All right, let's talk about Lindholm and why he struggled this season on Calgary on the other side. Before we do that, I got to shout out FanDuel. Happy Super Bowl to all those who celebrate from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. If you're like me, Super Bowl Sunday is all about scoring the best seat on the couch, grabbing your favorite football snacks, and placing some super bets. And, Super Bowl Sunday, I'm not like Kyle. I don't watch the last 10 minutes. I'm not a petty fan. I love the NFL. So
I'm loyal. You're not.
I'll be having the bacon wrapped dill pickles while Kyle will be snacking on, I don't know, a banana or something. So, that's how Super Bowl shaped up for both of us.
Why are you judging me? Why are you judging me? Okay. Why are you judging me? I'm a Hindu. You just brought up bacon. You eat pork. I don't eat pork. And now you brought up the whole banana thing. Okay. Come on, Trevor. It's 2024.
Unbelievable, man. It's going down a bad road. This is why I'm the darkest guy on the program. If you're placing bets on your Super Bowl Sunday, again, make sure you do so with FanDuel, because FanDuel has so many ways for you to end the season with a W or 2 or 3. Not only can you place a bet on who will win the Super Bowl, but FanDuel also has bets for which players will score a touchdown, how many points will be scored, and so much more. New customers join today and you'll get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. But just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to sign up. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
Okay, we back on Locked On Canucks having this conversation about your first place Vancouver Canucks organization. I was going to say team, but the organization needs an applause right now, okay? For real. Because they brought the swagger back into my life in that sentence, right? I cheer for the Vancouver Canucks. That's cool. And what? It happened in short order. Anyways, Kyle Bound, Trevor Beggs again, doing our thing and talking to the people as well. One love to all the new subscribers. As always, though, one love to the OGs, man. They're still around, still chatting away. And I got a couple comments. One that's making me laugh. Okay, we're going to get back to hockey talk, but look at this, okay? G. Ellis saying, you can tell Trevor is married and Kyle is cool and single. Dude, I'm cool and in love, okay? My girlfriend is hot. But she's my girlfriend, not my wife, okay? It is what it is. Yo, my girl better get used to it, man. A lot of, like, April to June, it's kind of open, in the evenings because the Canucks are not playing. But she's about to see a new Kyle Bowen, right? Because my first love before her is hot again, right? The Vancouver Canucks, and they're about to give me that thing that matters, and that's playoff hockey. That's that hope in your stomach, and a success for this team in the playoffs is a lot easier, A, with Lindholm, and B, if Lindholm can get back to being an all-star, like a real all-star, because right now he is an all-star, but it's kind of fake. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, I get what you're saying. I mean, that's the NHL's All-Star system is a bit flawed, and I personally, not that it really matters. I think All-Star games are for the kids, minus some cool tidbits. But yeah, the fact that 32 teams got to put an All-Star in, like again, Lindholm's having a down year and he's the Flames All-Star. Like how much does that say about the All-Star competition? But anyways, it's cool because the Canucks have 6 guys there. Again, Lindholm probably doesn't deserve to be there, and that's because he's not having a great season with the Calgary Flames. But I think there's a lot of reasons why I'm banking on a Lindholm bounce back. Let's go first and foremost looking at his line mates this season with the Flames. His two most common line mates have been Igor Sharangovich and Andrew Mangiapane. Those are some tough names for broadcasters, man. But Sharangovich is having a fine season for Calgary. He's already hit the 20-goal mark. He's kind of playing one of the few Flames playing above expectations. Mangiapane is having a pretty poor season compared to his standards. I mean, this guy once had 35 goals in the NHL season. He has 9 goals in 48 games this year. And again, Lindholm's third most common lineman has been Jonathan Huberdeau, who has 6 goals and 26 points. That's a guy to make $10.5 million, by the way.
Oh,
so again, Lindholm, he's scoring at a third line rate this season. Not great. Shooting's a bit down, but not incredibly down. But his shooting percentage has fallen off a cliff. But, when I look at Elias Lindholm, I'm really thinking this is a strong bounce back candidate. When I look at his even strength numbers, this is a guy who has scored at least a low end first line rate for the past 5 NHL seasons, all with the Calgary Flames. So again, I just don't think Lindholm has fallen off a cliff all of a sudden. I think this is a guy who is not playing with good line mates. And look, the scouting report's out on him, right? He's not going to go drive a line by himself necessarily. He's going to play good transition hockey. He's going to be good defensively. But in terms of creating opportunities, he needs to play with talented players. And I'm sorry, Sharangovich and Mangiapane just aren't cutting it. But with the Canucks, again, he's probably going to play with Elias Pettersson, one of the best goddamn playmakers in the NHL. And oh, by the way, for some of that flack Pettersson took from Tocchet that got a little bit overblown, for the fact that he didn't necessarily play his best hockey for a little stretch there in January, he finished the season or the month as the 3rd star of the month. He had 14 goals in 13 games.
Suck on that.
So, I mean,
say suck on that. Suck on that.
Suck on that.
How do you say that in Swedish, man? I also heard that Lindholm and Pettersson played at the World Hockey Championships, that tournament that doesn't really matter, way back when. Unreal, man. I want to see how this is going to work out. I'm confident that those two can get it going, and that Lindholm is not only the perfect player to bring in, but somebody that you can just plug and play and get things going right away without too much coaching and maybe talk it. Now think about this, right? I'm breaking this down on the fly, brother, okay? Think about this, okay? So Tocchet, if Kuzmenko's still on the team and they're trying to fix their top 6 issue, that means Tocchet's got to continually overcoach, quote-unquote overcoach, right? You get what I'm saying? Like, keep spending time with Kuzmenko to figure it out because it's a big deal. Now we can kind of use that energy on other things. Boom, bam. What's it going to be? I don't know. I'm confident though. Lindholm, the plug and play effect, him also being a UFA, he's got a lot to play for. I always bring up the money thing. Other people bring up the money thing too. These players coincidentally, tend to bring it when they're UFAs, and he probably wants to put himself back in that $8.5 million range, right? Like guaranteed, 30 teams itching to do that type of volume, and there's a better chance to do that when you're playing on a line with Pettersson and just that power play unit in general. I mean, list off the names: Lindholm, JT Miller, Brock Besser, Elias Pettersson, and Quinn Hughes.
That's 5 All-Stars right there.
Yeah.
Again, whether Lindholm should be the All-Star, that's 5 All-Stars.
Look at this move. Whoop. Come on, man. Vancouver wants the cup, baby. They doing it for the people, man. Home of the West Coast bias, yo. F the ops.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Again, one of the other reasons I gotta love Lindholm. Again, offense hasn't been there this season. I think he's gonna bounce back. He's been a top penalty killer for the Flames, though. And the Flames have the 3rd best penalty kill in the NHL this season. Look,
what?
Elias Lindholm, buddy. Elias Lindholm, again, is a member of your Vancouver Canucks.
Sorry, man. I feel like getting naked, just taking off my shirt, man. Because here's the thing, Trevor. I know I'm jumping the gun, right? But I've always just fantasized ripping off my shirt and running down Granville after we won the Stanley Cup, okay? That's like what I dreamt of when I was 11 years old, 12 years old, 13 years old, because it'd just be freeing, Like that's the dream. The first dream in my life, literal dream, okay? Was not to make millions of dollars, was not to put on for my family, blah, 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 not to go on vacation with my families, pay for their dinners, blah, blah, blah. No, it was actually to win the Stanley Cup, and that was my only dream up until I turned, 19 years old? We're going down a dark path. Speaking of which, okay, let's get back to the comments before we get to the third segment. Do you have anything else to say about Lindholm? Do you have like an extra note or something?
No, again, he's bouncing back.
Yeah, he's bouncing back. Let's keep it simple, okay? Let's get to the comments. The people really do matter. I feel as if I saw something from somebody bringing up the fact that at least the Vancouver Canucks didn't have to give any of their top guys up. And if you really think about it, we're talking about a now contending team. They're number 1 in the league. They're obvious buyers, and they get the biggest fish without giving up their top prospects. That's unrealistic, isn't it?
I wouldn't say it's unrealistic.
No, but like I think if they were if we were writing up the proposal for Lindholm 2 days ago, like we're throwing in at we don't want to throw in the Karamaki or Willander, but we're like easily throwing in Podkolzin,
Yeah, I agree. I think it was definitely a win on that from that point of view, right? Again, I'm fine with trading Podkolzin though. Like I do think Podkolzin is probably a
I don't know about that
level. Oh. Yeah. Oh, you're more bullish on Podkolzin than me, eh?
Well, I just think we got the biggest fish, so it's going to be like if we bring in anyone else and have to give up Podkolzin, like that name or that player, like it's not Gensel. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to happen anymore. So it's you get what I'm saying. Like I based on what I've seen from Podkolzin recently, I'm so interested in that player type under Rick Tocchet. I'm all over the place, okay, with my relationship with Podkolzin. It is what it is. I'm a fan first, okay? Okay? Anyways, Onwards and Upwards says, I want them to be ready to win the cup, but I can't get my hopes up. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. And
well, okay, to his point, I mean, we've all been kind of heartbroken before cheering for this team. So Onwards and Upwards. Yeah, that's the motto. That's the guy who commented. But it's fair to be skeptical, man. Come on, we've been crushing this in this market so many times, but I'm choosing to believe right now.
Okay, and last comment before break, we got Mr. Whale again, clearly turning into one of my favorite fans. Okay, for real. He just told us that his girlfriend left him. I'm sorry. You'll find another whale really soon. Anyways, Begsy, take us away. Who we shouting out on this episode of Locked On Canucks? Is Begsy lagging? You got this?
Hey, guess what? For the first time in a while, no one to shout out. Just pausing for a little ad break, and we'll be back on the other side here on Locked On Canucks.
Okay. We're back on Locked On Canucks. The comments, man, going off. Kyle Bowen, Trevor Beggs, apparently not only spreading delusion, but spreading the way, okay? Think about this. Steven, everyone get naked. I'm just saying, if we win the cup, I think it's like we don't have to get butt naked, but let's just, let's celebrate with love. Let's celebrate with love rather than the other ways we've quote unquote celebrated after a long, successful hockey season. Okay, switch it up, and maybe we're the reason why. Because I've seen the comments. Sometimes I post some TikToks ranting about the Vancouver Canucks, and people come at me all the time. Yo, we're just gonna riot. A riot's coming in a couple of months. The riot's coming. I hope this show is the show that not only waters down that belief, but just puts it to rest. You know, I want people hugging in June, hugging and loving. Right? I'm allowed to say that. Anyways, Begsy Bowen, Locked On Canucks. You got some fun facts about the player that the Canucks stole from the Calgary Flames.
Exactly. Yeah, the Canucks fleeced the Flames, and guess what? They got a guy, Elias Lindholm, who might have a wife that's more famous than him. That's one of the fun facts about him. His wife, Annika England, she is a DJ, music producer, influencer, and also she's been a reality TV star. She's been on Big Brother Sweden. So
Cool.
yeah, we judge the world based on Instagram followers, of course, right? Which is why Kyle and I aren't very popular guys.
Yeah.
But Elias Lindholm has, about 54,000 Instagram followers. His wife has 160,000. Okay.
Okay. That's cool.
They even have an Instagram account dedicated to this like dream home they're building in Sweden that has 24,000 followers.
Wow, that's cool, man.
Yeah, even their house, a static object, has most followers than the average individual.
Bro.
One of the things I wanted to point out that should have made us tie Lindholm to the Canucks a bit more was that I didn't realize it's still almost when I finished this article, and this didn't even make it into the article. Jim Rutherford drafted Elias Lindholm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if many of our listeners knew that or you knew that, but I just kind of realized that, like, wait a minute. It was Rutherford's second last season, or I guess the beginning of his last season in Carolina, where they drafted Elias Lindholm. So
yeah,
we should see it coming from that perspective. If you want to check out some of the other fun facts, you can go check out my article on Daily Hive. But also, I'll mention one more. Lindholm's dad played in the NHL, and he played in the NHL with Wayne frickin' Gretzky. How about that, man? Greatness running in the Lindholm family.
That's something else. And just on that note, you talked about how Lindholm has way less Instagram followers than his DJ wife or whatever. Not surprising. Again, the NHL is just on another level of the spectrum, okay? When it comes to popularity. Think about this. When you search up Stanley Cup in Google, the first thing that comes up is a water bottle. And that's been happening for a couple months. So I'll say this: the NHL needs the Vancouver Canucks to win a cup. Okay, the Canucks, this place, this city, this team, this roster can make the NHL really sexy. Yo, for real, I believe that. I believe that, man. But those jerseys too, man. Hey, greatest. Anything else, man? We've been talking a lot, man. I don't know if we have to make this episode a little short. Just get to the comments before we get out of here because, dude, I gotta drink some water, man. How about this one? Matt Folger, okay? Lindholm only has 11 more points than Kuzmenko. All right, Matt. Thanks a lot for that. Thanks a lot
that was a Folger's coffee kind of take right there.
Oh, yeah. It's not my favorite thing. And how about this? We got G. Ellis saying Kuzmenko got a bit of a raw deal in Vancouver. Tocchet called him a lazy bum in the locker room, so he had to go. I'm pretty sure he's paraphrasing. Dude, okay, so again, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, I'm demanding Rick Tocchet and Kuzmenko to go to Amsterdam Cafe, light one up. I'll pay for it, okay? And just, get along because I don't think Kuzmenko is the type of player that learns in the press box, okay? In other words, I'm demanding Tocchet to go against his philosophy and just play Kuzmenko out of the slump. And fast forward to the now, Kuzmenko was playing a lot in the top six. Like not a lot when it came to the end of the game minutes, but he was always scheduled to be in the top six playing with Pettersson. And what happened? Inconsistencies and mistakes. He just wasn't getting it. And it wasn't going to work this year with the Vancouver Canucks. And this year matters more than ever. Okay?
Yeah. Winning now matters, man. Yo, let's get out of here, man, because I think my internet connection is cutting out. A lot of Lindholm talk on this episode. But again, we appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in to Locked On Canucks, your team every day. Shout out to the everydayers, the occasional listeners, the first-time listeners, the new subscribers, and baby, each and every one of you that joined us here on the live feed on YouTube. We love each and every one of you, your family, your dogs, your cats, your snakes, and all your pets as well, okay? Coming up on tomorrow's episode, more trade speculation. Can the Canucks acquire Tanev? Should the Canucks have kept Bo Horvat over Elias Lindholm? I'm just kidding. But some more speculation, how Lindholm fits in the Vancouver Canucks. I also want to look at, coming out of the break, how should the Canucks slot in their forward lines? I think there's a lot of different directions they could go. Let's break down some of those options. Again, the Canucks will play on next Tuesday, but we'll be here with you tomorrow, Monday, because Locked On Canucks, your team every day. Kyle, anything to say to the people before we get out of here?
Oh, just one love, man. One love to all the people. We're blessed, man. We're blessed at the Don't Doze Art Lab that we get to talk about the Vancouver Canucks with you and you and you and you and you and you. It's about y'all, for real. So just super blessed. Have a great day, a great night, a great afternoon. We don't know when you're listening to this, but hey, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.